Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I was just looking at the picture of me on my screen, and I was noticing that I think I've worn one of these Carhartt shirts for almost every video, the last couple one. In short, I remember like the first video I did, the first couple of Zoom conferences I did, and that wasn't just, for you guys. That was, for the whole school district, etc. I made sure that I wore a dress shirt, that I was showered, that I was ready to go, just like if I were meeting everybody in person, but that's slowly slided off. And I remember it's like, okay, I guess I don't have to wear a dress shirt and jeans. I can wear a dress shirt and gym shorts. And then slowly it just slided down to me basically being in my pajamas for all the videos I do. But, anyways, it's just the ramblings of a tired teacher who's trying to fight the effort syndrome that's probably pervading everybody right now. Anyways, I'm going to cut myself off right there. This week's assignment. How many minutes did I ramble for? 1 minute, 15 seconds. Not bad. Certainly not a record. So, this week's assignment, even though it's got three parts to it, it's actually one of the shorter ones we've done. And that's kind of a reflection of me looking at our previous couple of assignments and thinking that I just should dial it back a little bit. And that's part of this reality that I looked at how much time we had. I looked at the factors of remote learning. And in terms of world history, I just was like, okay, we've got 4 or 5 weeks left. What are the three big topics, four big topics that you have to take away from with world history? And that really was decolonization, the developing world, and now globalization. And then I'll tell you about the assignment we're going to do later on. But those three things, I was just like, those are huge. You got to at least know what those words are when people talk about them. And so you kind of learned what those words were. It was almost like a big vocabulary exercise. So you'd at least know what decolonization meant, the developing world meant, and now what globalization meant. And of course, we've kind of already talked about globalization. But point being, you know what those three, at least you should know what those three words are, but you might not, actually you don't. There's kind of no reason for you to know how those three things actually connect with each other. And so when I'm, talking about globalization here, I was just like, no, if I'm just teaching them what that word means in a really big vocab exercise, then I'm not going to make it too complicated. I'm going to keep it pretty simple. So all you're doing here with part one is trying to define globalism in a real small way with the free write. And then you're going to find an example of what that definition means, an example of globalization. You're going to find it here. You're going to watch this video about the economic impacts of globalization. You have a choice of reading a newspaper article instead, but the first link, you choose. I'm going to add that in to make sure everybody knows. You choose between those two links, whichever one you want to do, and then you just do a pros and con list. And then lastly, you're going to answer some processing reflection questions. And the very last one is an extra credit. If you can tell me how globalization is impacting you right now in this very minute in one very significant way, I'll give you 5 extra credit points. So simple assignment. Now, lastly, the assignment we're going to do next week, as I mentioned twice in this thing, is a time capsule project. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to decide what evidence would future historians want to see. Like if you wanted people to understand what it meant to be in the COVID quarantine 100, 200, 300 years from now, what would you want to see? What would you leave them to look at? What would you leave them to analyze, right? Okay, so that's all I got for you. Year's almost over. Talk to you later.